Welcome back, everybody, to Rapid Fire. Another entertaining week of Rapid Fire. Fernando Ramirez, Gilbert Manzano, Victor Producer's voice in there as well. We have a jam-packed one for you guys. Patrick Mahomes in the news. We all saw what happened. Who is going to get the first? Who's going to win first place in the NFC? And then we are going to play NCAA commissioners, but with the NFL. So we're going to have that and more. Who deserves the MVP right now between one guy from San Francisco and a Cowboy? We will get into all that, but Vic, the producer, take it away.
Thank you guys for having me, guys. Let's get started. We got some spicy stuff going brewing this week. All right, Gilbert, you won last week, so you get to choose who goes first, you or Fernando. Before I ask the question.
Give me the ball first. Coin
All
flip.
right, here we go. Fair or foul for the Patrick Mahomes to criticize the officials during and after their loss to the Bills after winning the Super Bowl against the Eagles on a controversial pass interference late in the game.
Gilbert, you wanted the ball first. Don't Matt Hasselback this. Fair or foul for Patrick Mahomes, what he said after the game about the officials?
We're going to take the ball and we're going to score. And I'm going to score right here. It's definitely foul on Patrick Mahomes, on Andy Reid. Anybody else is complaining about this obvious offside penalty, don't cry me a river, Chiefs, about, well, I've been playing this game for many years. I've never got an offensive offsides. Well, it's happened many times this year in the NFL, maybe not to you. And yeah, there's a lot of things that occurred in that game, but no more crying. You've got a lot of breaks, Chiefs, and that was an obvious one. And the worst part about it, Fernando, is like they're complaining because they didn't get a warning or they didn't get a no call because the play was beautiful and Travis Kelce did one of the best regular season plays in a long time because we needed that for the highlight reel for Travis Kelce's Hall of Fame induction. We need the highlight reel. Like these excuses are terrible. I wanted to use a different word. Mahomes, Chiefs, Reid, you guys have done a lot of great things, but nobody asked you to be at the forefront of saying the referees have been in the spotlight all season. I'm tired of this. I'm going to stand up here and fight for the little guy. No. Go let the Bills and Josh Allen do that. And, foul for not telling Josh Allen, great game. Thank you for being a part of this. It was more like that call was BS. So a lot of whining, complaining, and it's on you, Chiefs, for getting Kadarius Toney. You traded him a year ago knowing that he has some issues.
There's no way I can. I couldn't even try and say fair. No, this is terrible. This is a bad look on a team who's gotten questionable calls called in their favor. The Super Bowl against the 49ers, there was 2 mystery calls. One non-call, 1 mystery call. Last year, the call in late in the game in favor of the Chiefs. We've seen it numerous times this season. Remember against the Jets when it was a penalty and they called a penalty on a Patrick Mahomes thrown interception. That didn't look like a penalty. So it's happened. It's happened in your favor. Now it's happening against you. Now you feel like the whole world is against you. You have Brittany Mahomes over there posting about it. And hey, guess what? Okay, maybe you deserved a warning for offsides. Cool. There were still 2 other penalties on there. Both tackles were basically all the way in the backfield. So no, get out of here. And you've been warned numerous times this season. Even the Jacksonville Jaguars were warned numerous times about Jawan Taylor, about the tackles, about all of that. So don't cry. Don't come over here crying. Like you've gotten away with a lot. Now it's time to pay the piper. Now you're maybe not getting those calls. Now all of a sudden you want to complain about the officiating. Get out of here. And a couple of weeks ago, by the way, on the podcast, on the New Heights podcast, both Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce were joking around. The Chiefs get all the calls. And then Travis like, oh, yeah, we have special powers. Yeah, okay. You guys were joking about it then, but now you're not laughing. Now you're pissed off. That to me is just comedy at its finest. But yeah, no, this is foul as hell. Like for Pat to do that, it's just a terrible look. And I'm sure he's going to try and backtrack and everything, but the damage has been done, dude. This is a terrible look.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I give you guys both the point here just because you guys both made great points when it came to this topic. I mean, there's no way to, be fair about it. He was out of line. and the whole Chiefs organization with everything that's gone on. I mean, for you to say something now, it looks pretty bad on you. It just screams privilege. All right, guys, next one. Well, I'll let you guys decide who goes next year since it was a tie there. After the Cowboys 33-13 win over the Eagles on Sunday Night Football, there's now a three-way tie for the top seed in the NFC between San Francisco, Dallas, and Philadelphia. Who gets the number one seed when the season ends?
All right, Fernando, I'm going to let you go first. Here is a tough one. 3 teams in the NFC, 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles. 1 month to go. Which team's going to end up with the number one seed? I want to hear your answer.
I'm gonna go 49ers. I think the 49ers run the table. At Cardinals, the Ravens come there. At Commanders, they finish out with the Rams at home. I say by the time they play the Rams, they might be able to rest some guys there, but I think the 49ers get it. Then it'll be the Eagles, and then the Cowboys will have to travel on the road for just because I think the Cowboys schedule is kind of tough, and I think this game might have taken a lot out of them. So I think moving forward, I think the Eagles will be fine, but they're starting to kind of teeter a little bit. So but they have the easier schedule coming up. So I'll go 49ers 1, Eagles 2, and then the 5th seed will be the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, I'm glad you went first. You made my pick easier. I'm going with the Eagles over the 49ers to win the number one seed. I don't think the Cowboys could get it done because they play the Dolphins, the Bills the next couple of weeks, and the Lions. But the Eagles, I think they got a wake-up call. They lost 2 straight. They're going to go into Seattle against Drew Lock probably. They could beat the Seahawks in Seattle. And then after that, they play the Giants twice and play the Cardinals. So I think win that game in Seattle, they'll be fine. The 49ers have to play the Rams, have to play the Ravens. So I think the 49ers can maybe lose one more. Maybe not. They look really good, though, Fernando. So maybe you got a good pick here. But if Eagles win in Seattle, they'll be fine. They're going to get the number one seed.
Yeah, I'm going with you there, Gilbert. Yeah, Eagles have the easier schedule, and then if all teams win out, the Philadelphia Eagles end up with the tiebreaker just because of the I saw that it was because of common opponents, which is weird. Even though they have a differential of 21 points right now, they'll still get the number one seed even if they all end up tied, which is crazy.
Wait, what
Uh,
about the head-to-head
Yeah.
from Philly and
it was weird. I heard this and I also saw
I
it.
think it's a conference record, not a
Yeah,
common games.
yeah, it's a conference
And
record because
remember,
of
the
it.
Eagles lost to the Jets, so it doesn't really hurt them as much. But but then again, the
shit? I
the
thought it was always
Bengals
common
beat the
opponents.
49ers. But I think it goes conference record. But then again, I am confused because 49ers beat both teams. So who knows?
Yeah, I didn't understand that, but that's what I saw. That even if all 3 teams win out, the Eagles get the number one seed, which I didn't understand. I still don't, but that's what's gonna happen, and the Eagles have the easier road to win out. All right, guys, 2-1. Uh, all right, teams that were in the driver's seat for a playoff berth in both conferences the last couple of weeks lost in week 14 with the AFC and NFC tying up for the 6 and 7 seats. Let's start with the AFC. What's a team out of the playoff picture right now that no one wants to face when they get in?
Gilbert, who do you think is a team that nobody wants to play if they snuck into the playoffs?
All right, I'm a little torn here with the AFC, and I'm just gonna go with the obvious one. It's the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, and the I guess I was gonna say Stephon Diggs, but he's been very quiet. But that's my point here. The Bills, beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, and their cornerback shut down Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and who stepped up? James Cook, Dalton Knox, and they still have Kincaid too. So I like that. They have many weapons offensively for Josh Allen. He doesn't have to be a superhero, so they find a way in. They're going to be dangerous, as Baker Mayfield once said about being dangerous. But the Bills do have a tough schedule. They have to play the Cowboys, they have to play the Dolphins, but they find the way in. They're going to be extra dangerous. How about that? Adding a little spice to it. The defense does concern me. They're very thin, but they stepped up in the fourth quarter in Kansas City. So give me the Bills here.
It's either conference, right?
AFC for this one.
Oh, it's just AFC. Okay, my bad. Then I'll go with Oof, 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 oof.
Okay, you gotta
I'll
stop
go
there.
with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Cincinnati Bengals have a lot of danger on defense, but then on offense, this might be the last dance for their receivers. T. Higgins is a free agent after this year. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep him, what way they're going to be able to keep him, but they have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I think Jamar Chase is also owed the bag, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see the way they kind of do this. But I think they have a lot of firepower. It's literally, I mean, I thought it was going to be they're going to ask Jake Browning just don't go out there and f this up, but he's really stepped up as of late. I think he's doing really well. So I think they have some firepower on defense. I mean, these last two wins have been something incredible. So I'll say the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to be a dangerous team that are going to come in and they're going to be like, hey, we don't have nobody thought when Joe Burrow went down, nobody thought we would beat anybody. Let's just go out there, have fun, do our thing, and try and upset somebody. So without expectations, I think that makes the team even more dangerous. So I think that's the Bengals. The Bills have expectations on them. The Bengals don't now that Joe Burrow's out for the year.
Man, I love you guys because both of you picked the two teams that I wanted you guys to talk about. But I'm gonna go with Fernando and the Bengals just
Whoa.
because I really like what the Bengals have done with Zach Taylor, and they've changed their offense, completely for Jake Browning. Like they went away from what they're throwing more screens. They're using him wisely here, and so for that, I'm giving the point to Fernando. So we're all tied up at 1-1 now, guys. All right, guys, let's head over to the NFC. What is the team out of the playoff picture right now that no one wants to face if they get in?
Fernando, I'm gonna let you go first here. Now we're doing the NFC. A team outside looking in that could be dangerous. You got the Seahawks, you got the Rams. We don't know about
I'm
the
not.
Packers just
You
yet.
you
Go
wrote it
ahead.
in. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be like you. I'm gonna be a good guy. I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks. I think the way
Ooh.
DK showed against the Cowboys that if Geno Smith or Drew Lock or whoever the hell's throwing him the football, if they can sling it, then he'll be able to make plays. Tyler Lockett, Jackson and Jigba, like those guys need to step up as well. But I feel like Seattle, like I know that their defense kind of been up and down, but I feel like they have some playmakers on that team, and I feel like if they catch somebody napping, I really think that they could come in and they get upset. I know that they're on a losing streak, but I mean, if they could be like a 7th seed and go into Dallas, I mean, they could. I'm not saying that. I mean, they could beat Dallas, but they'll give them a run for their. Well, Dallas would be out of it, so they'd probably go to Philly. So there you go. Like they could challenge a team like Philly, especially with their defense kind of teetering and everything. And now if they had to play the 49ers again, they get blasted. But definitely, I think they could challenge a team that they don't see regularly, like their divisional opponent. So I'll go with the Seattle Seahawks.
Fun fact, Fernando, I think I just heard that this 4-game winning streak is the first time in the Pete Carroll era that they have a 4-game, losing streak, 4-game losing streak in the Pete Carroll era. And he's been around for like 10 plus years. So
Yeah.
these
That's
are
why
rare
I was
times.
concerned about them. I was like, hey, like this team, I don't know. Everybody's like, oh, they could be a contender. I'm like, not with
If
Geno Smith.
if they somehow beat the Eagles at home, because the Eagles are kind of limping right now, and they get them, I think they'll be fine because the next 3 games are pretty soft for them. But this gauntlet that they had, they're right now 0-4. They can't. They blew that Rams game at home, so they're reeling right now. So I'll go with that. My transition there. It's the Rams. It's the obvious one. Today I'm taking all the obvious picks, Fernando, because I am on a winning streak here. So why not? And the Rams were impressive against the Ravens. They lost. They are on the outside right now, 6-7, but they show me they could compete against any team in the NFL. Maybe not the 49ers. We'll find out on week 18. But other than that, they have the offense to put up 30 points. The defense is very underrated. And my concern, though, is special teams and then that game management McVay showed on that final drive regulation was concerning. But Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, they're clicking right now. So if they get in and they somehow play the Lions, they'll be dangerous. Maybe they even push the Eagles. We'll find out more about the Rams and the 49ers in week 18. But if they find their way in, I think they'll be very extra dangerous, the key word of the day.
Yeah, I'm giving that point to Gilbert. I mean, I think the only difference here between the two is that you got two teams going in the opposite directions. You got the Rams on, they've won 3 out of their last 4 games, and then you have the Seahawks on a 4-game losing streak. So Up to 1, Gilbert, here as we go to the next question. If I gave you guys the power, like the college football committee, to take any team from the playoff picture after week 14, who would you take out and why?
We're on mute, Fernando.
My bad. Gilbert, who are you kicking out of the playoffs if you had the power to?
Yeah, so we're kicking off a team in the NFL playoffs right now. We're not being asked to put in a team, right? Okay,
No.
we're just kicking out a team currently in the playoff picture, without a doubt, without hesitation. It's the boring Pittsburgh Steelers. I am so mad that the Texans and the Colts all lost because I wanted the Steelers to get out of the playoff picture. They lost to the Patriots to Bailey Zappi because Mitchell Trubisky stinks. Same thing with Kenny Pickett. They're one of the worst offenses in the NFL. I don't know how they're 7-6, Fernando, but I don't want to see them in the playoffs. I don't want to see them get steamrolled by the Chiefs in the round of the wild card or whatever it is. I could see Mahomes going to Pittsburgh, putting up 20 points. They'll win 20-0. So Steelers, get out of here. Get out of my life. Mike Tomlin, I have a lot of respect for you, but this is not your year. And shout out to not Micah Parsons, Minka Fitzpatrick for calling out all the young Steelers players for saying, just because you wear the black and gold doesn't mean you're going to go waltz into a 9-10 season. You better put in the work, and they have been doing that.
I mean, Minka would know about that, though. I mean, they haven't been good for the last couple of years, but I'm going to go with a team that just put up 3 points on Sunday against the Raiders, 3-0. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. What in the hell do I want to see the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs for? Like,
Nick
where
Mullins?
would they? Huh?
Nick Mullins? You don't want to see him?
No, hell no. Where would they go? They would go to Detroit. No, give me the Rams to go to Detroit. No, hell no. I don't want to see the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs. Like, it was a cute little story when Josh Jobs first came in, but now it's over. It's back to reality. Up there goes gravity. Up there goes sanity. Up. But yeah, no. I'm fed up with Minnesota. Fuera, like they used to say on Don Francisco. Let's bring somebody else in. But yeah, no, I'm kicking out the Minnesota Vikings.
You know what? Before I was gonna go with the Steelers here and Gilbert, but you brought up a good point, and that's
Yeah.
on me because too I I fell for the okie doke here, and the story that had to do with the Minnesota Vikings, that the pumpkin has gone away now, and I'm with
Yep.
you, Fernando. I don't want to see the Vikings in the playoffs. All right, guys, all tied up as we get to the last question. All right, this is for all the marbles. Who has the better case for the MVP, Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott?
All right, Fernando, I want to hear your answer here. Let's go with the quarterbacks for MVP, not Tyreek Hill. I know you like Tyreek Hill, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Brock Purdy, the guy with the stacked roster in San Francisco, or Dak Prescott, who doesn't do well in the postseason, but is regular season. What do you think, Fernando? MVP?
Easy for me, Brock Purdy. Look at how many. Look at the adversity that he's faced. Dak Prescott hasn't really faced adversity. It's just losers on social media that have been kind of questioning him here and there and everything. But I'm going to go with the teams that these two teams have faced. The 49ers have beaten the crap out of the Cowboys. They went into Jacksonville, beat the crap out of them. They went into Seattle, beat the crap out of them. They beat Seattle. They went into Philly, beat the crap out of Philly. That's a resume builder right there. That's a lot of playoff teams. That's consistency. You look at the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, really, they've beaten the Eagles, and that's basically it. I mean, they blew out the Rams, but the Rams weren't the Rams in the sense that we've seen as of late. They haven't really caught fire, and they've blown out a lot of really poor teams. I mean, the one other victory is against the Seahawks. So I'm going to go Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's really handled himself well. I know teams are trying to throw different things at him. Now they have film on him, but I think Brock Purdy's handled himself really well. So I'm going to go with him.
Fernando, it's hard to disagree. Maybe a week ago, I would have gone your way, and I'm not one of those people that like to criticize Brock Purdy. He's made some big time throws. Like, yeah, he does a lot of screens, and what do they call him? Like a check down merchant. He does more than that. I've seen some great throws to Debo, downfield, to Brandon Ayuk, to George Kittle. He does his part, but obviously it's a stack offense there. And here's my tiebreaker, because Dak Prescott took steps forward, beating the Eagles pretty handily. I know it was at home, and he doesn't have more signature wins like Brock Purdy does, but he never had a 3-game losing streak like Brock Purdy did. Brock Purdy was terrible for 3 games straight. I know Dak had the terrible game in San Francisco in week 5, but since that game, for now, you really look at the numbers. There's been no better quarterback for the past 2 months than Dak Prescott. So he needed the signature win. He got it on Sunday Night Football. maybe right now I can't make a full case with my chest out. But if he beats the Bills and the Dolphins and the Lions and maybe wins the NFC East, then for sure I will go Dak Prescott. But right now, give me a slight edge with Prescott over Purdy.
Vic, are we counting horseshoes and hand grenades for the next few weeks, or are we counting up to right now?
Up to right now.
Okay, I just
like
wondered.
I said, 3-game losing streak and one didn't, so whatever.
Yeah, I think you guys both made good arguments, but I got to go with Gilbert on this one with Dak Prescott. I just think he's taking his game to the next level, and I don't, as much as he gets criticized, and I understand that the whole thing that's happened with the game against the 49ers, they've turned it around, and I think part of why I'm giving you this point, Gilbert, is because I was wrong when it came to Mike McCarthy. Now, could this change in the playoffs? Of course. But as of right now, what I've seen these 13 games, I have to go with Dak right now over Brock Purdy. So Gilbert, enjoy this win. That was a really good debate by both of you guys. I try to do the best with the questions, and you guys hit it out of the ballpark today.
Fernando, focus on football, and then we'll get to wrestling.
No, I didn't. He said Gilbert. That's on you.
I did this. That was my celebration. It's your turn to close out now.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay. No, I didn't.
Sorry. Speech. I guess it's like what is it? Around the horn, you give your 5 minutes of speech, and like you want to change the world. I don't have that. I don't have anything.
All right, there you go. Then that's all you need to say. Yeet. All right.
There you go.
Thank you guys so much for checking out another episode of Rapid Fire. We will be back with a new episode of Compas on the Beat. We'll get into all that stuff, especially what does Dan and Dago have to say about Patrick Mahomes complaining?
Can't wait to hear that.
That's going to be interesting. But yeah, make sure you guys check out everything else on Compas on the Beat Network. The Chargers play the Raiders on a short week. The Rams play the
Commanders.
The Commanders. Oh, you know what? I was actually about to say the Commanders. That should be a great game for Gilbert to go to SoFi Stadium and check that out. Make sure you guys check out everything else, though. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, be a compa, tell a compa. Thank you guys so much.